Welcome to the Intimidation Hour.
I am Tim Harrington.
And I am Tim Miller.
Prepare
to be intimidated. Hello, everybody. This is the larger of the two Tims coming at you with my associate, Mr. Harrington. Say hello, Mr. Harrington.
Hello, I am the smaller version of the Intimidations.
All right, so Mr. Harrington and I were sitting around one night and we said, hey, you know those drunken nights that you have when, God, I wish we were recording this conversation. Well, we basically said we should make a talk show like that, only we don't always have to be drunk.
Yeah.
Or we can be.
Yeah, we can get creative with it and basically discuss whatever and stuff like that.
Indeed. So, I'll start off at one of my subjects that, one of the subjects we talked about starting off with,
Yeah.
and that would be losing your Bic. God damn it.
Common dilemma.
I absolutely hate losing my Bic and getting Bic. But on the other hand, Mr. Harrington, I gotta tell you, I love the hell out of a good Bicking of somebody else.
Oh, yeah, it's great. I was actually wondering about that. Whose responsibility is it? Is it the holder of a Bic? Like, if they lose it, there's no one to blame but themselves.
Indeed, indeed. If you cannot keep track of your own damn Bic, it's your own damn fault that you lost it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's amazing how often that happens. And
it is.
But that doesn't happen with matches. You know, it's always a fucking lighter.
Well, more specifically, Bics.
Bics,
I
yes.
mean, if you have a nice Zippo that you just spent 20 or 30 bucks on, you're going to want to keep an eye on it. That's just kind of how it is. You just spent 20 or 30 bucks on a fucking lighter.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, who the hell wants matches? Nobody uses matches. Everybody thinks matches are a pain in the ass. I kind of like matches from time to time, personally.
They get wet, you're screwed.
Yeah, that's a downfall. Well, they do have waterproof matches, but who the hell buys those?
I never actually used a waterproof match.
They're kind of a pain in the ass to light.
Interesting. No, yeah, when it comes to Bic holding, I keep that. Keep it in the pocket, make sure nobody even sees it. Because shit happens, you know.
But Mr. Harrington, somebody will always see your Bic because you, like myself, are a smoker.
Yes.
And I sincerely doubt that you, myself, or anybody else is going to take the care to say, gee, I want a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't want anybody to know that I have a Bic lighter because if somebody sees a Bic lighter, they're going to ask me to use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot this carefully. I'm going to walk around a corner somewhere. I'm going to look around, make sure there's no oncoming traffic because if somebody in a car sees it, they might pull over and stop to ask.
Right.
And I don't want any of those motherfuckers using my Bic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to look around, make sure there's no police officers, no oncoming traffic, nobody that can see me. I take out a pair of binoculars that I keep in my inside pocket.
Oh, there you go.
And I check the hillsides because you never know. There could be crazy motherfuckers coming out of the hills saying, hey, can I use your Bic? Hey you, mister, can I use your Bic? No, get away from me. So, well, honestly, I don't see any of us taking the time to go through all that because, frankly, well, I'm lazy.
Isn't it special? It's a special time when you actually go to the store and purchase a Bic.
I just went through that today, as a matter of fact.
It's very seldom, for me anyways, because I am unfortunately one of those ones that wake up the next morning with a new Bic in my pocket. I haven't actually bought my own lighter in, God, I don't know, a year? Shit.
So you would probably say that a couple of times that I've gone without a Bic is because you had my Bic in your pocket.
More than likely.
Oh,
that's
Harrington.
What do they call that? Ambiguous? You know?
Wow.
It's a word.
Well played, sir.
Ambiguous.
Well played.
That's what we're going to call it. Ambiguous. You lose your Bic. Yes. No, that actually kind of reminded me when you said From the Hills. Remember, have you seen that movie, The Jerk?
A long, long time ago in a galaxy that was too many beers ago to remember.
Yeah. Well, you said Coming from the Hills, and I remember that guy, the sniper guy trying to off Steve Martin. It just popped in my head. I fucking love that movie.
Steve Martin, the banjo player.
Yes. I love that movie, The Jerk. They don't make them like that anymore.
No, regretfully they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Movies have become considerably less witty, I believe, in this day and age.
I heard that the new
Much
Red
like the
Dawn
music.
is pretty interesting. Or they remade it.
I was not aware.
Yeah.
I don't keep up too much with newer movies anymore, to tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Red Dawn. I guess it was filmed around Spokane or Seattle or some shit like that.
Huh.
Yeah. And I guess it's not the... You've seen the original, right?
You
The
know, I
80s.
still don't think I have seen that either.
Let's see, the Russians invade America, but in this newer version, it's Japanese.
Okay, okay. So they're keeping up with the times, apparently.
Yeah,
They,
yeah.
they could have more properly done it with the Chinese, I would guess.
I guess it's not cool to be attacked by Russia these days.
Well, why not? Dang it. There may be less of them, but they're 3 times bigger than we are.
Yeah, crazy bastards. You know, I actually was watching something on the news earlier. It said that North Korea is going to do a cyber war against South Korea, and they're pretty much going to ruin all their computers.
That ought to be interesting.
I guess, going to war is crap now, so might as well just give them all viruses. I saw that earlier.
Oh, one hooker with an STD can ruin the world.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely.
You know, it's a humorous comparison, but I was sitting here thinking, have you ever played much in the way of video games? You remember a video game called StarCraft?
I do. I never actually played it.
You never played it.
Yeah.
Well, I got into it for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 main races. There's the Zerg, who are little bitty gross things that can massively, massively overwhelm you just because of their sheer numbers, even though they're not very strong.
Mm-hmm.
There are the Protoss, which are the slower moving but incredibly powerful. I will overwhelm you and send you to doom with my incredible power.
Interesting.
And then there's the human race. Yes, the Terrans. And the Terrans are kind of like in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, America, I would guess.
Yeah.
We are the Terrans.
Yeah.
We used to not be, but we are currently the Terrans.
Interesting.
I think China, if shit actually went down with China, would be more like a Zerg rush on America. So
Yeah.
for all of you gamers, China equals the Zerg.
Shit.
And
Yeah,
unless
Star
we're
Trek.
appropriately defended, they would kick our ass, because if you get a good person behind a Zerg rush, you will have your ass handed to you.
Is this a computer game, StarCraft? I think it...
Yes,
Yeah.
this is a computer game.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, I never checked that one out. I see you're a fan of Diablo.
I am. I have followed all 3 of them now.
Mm-hmm.
Beat and followed all 3.
I was into EverQuest for a while.
I've had several friends into Evercrack.
Mm-hmm. Never got into World of Warcraft. Never got into it.
You know, I have a few friends that are very into World of Warcraft, and, I'm a Diablo 3 player currently,
Mm-hmm.
and the maps aren't quite as big, and there's not quite as many options, but there's still a certain form of realism
Yeah.
that I tend to enjoy, because, aside from demonology and the story plot that I very much enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
I just like the vibe of it better. When you get into Warcraft players, or WoW players, WoW, yes, it's a little bit more cartoony, but
That's
the
the vibe
maps
I got
are
from, yeah.
the maps are much more massive. There's a lot more for you to do. There's missions that you can do, dual boxing, and 18 billion other things that you can do to occupy more of your time.
Right. Right.
Me, on the other hand, I want to sit down and play for a couple hours from time to time, which Diablo 3 will let me do. If I got into playing WoW, I might not leave my computer. And that would be terrible, because then I wouldn't go to work, and then I'd lose my job. And
That's the effect it has, unfortunately. It's amazing.
I have seen some of the WoW players around, and I don't see them anymore because they don't leave their house.
I gotta say though, it's very like D&D. I see that there's a lot of them down at Washington Park reenacting.
Though that's a little bit different. There's a couple of different styles with that. This is where the geek in me comes out. No, I'm not a LARPer. Live action role play is what you see down at the park.
That's awesome.
I have never, and I don't think ever will, do LARPing. There's just something that's an extra geeky step that I just refuse to take. But for those people who enjoy it, I got nothing against you. It's a great escape from the normal world, and sometimes it's nice to escape it, though don't take it too seriously, because if you live in another world and the world is actually real, will come and bite you in the ass.
Now, I've been playing Rocksmith lately. That game's pretty cool.
Yeah, you introduced me to that. I think it is probably the best game in the world for musicians. It has taken every other, what was it, Rock Band, and before that was Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero, yeah.
When they had fake guitars. Man, this game is a real damn guitar that you can use any guitar you want. You buy any electric guitar.
Oh, yeah.
And you plug it in, and you're using real strings and real progressions. It will teach you actual real dexterity. It has little side games in the game to teach you how to figure out each individual. Okay, where is this fret? How do I get there? It teaches you how to move back and forth without thinking about it on an actual real instrument. Where all your actual notes are. I mean, dexterity in your fingers, how to strum, and it will kick your ass until you figure out how to do it correctly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And you can actually learn a lot. You're not going to become a full-fledged musician by playing the game, but it will get you to a point where you could have all the dexterity and knowledge to become a real musician. And that, to me, is a badass game.
I just wish there was more songs in there. I guess that would be my only gripe. But other than that, it's fucking great.
I wish there was more songs that you didn't have to pay extra for.
They're fucking expensive, too. Jesus. It's amazing.
What'd you say, $300 for a big old set of them?
Yeah, it's something like that.
That's nuts. Of course, then again, you got to think how many people took the time to analyze those songs and program them in there. It's kind of like, all right, kind of like having an actual real band. Okay, people say, a band comes up and says, "Hey, I want to play in this spot," or the bar owner comes up to you and says, "Hey, why don't you come over and play here?" And you say, "Okay, how much?" They'll say $50, and you say, "Excuse me."
Oh yeah.
There's okay. Number one. There's 5 of us. Okay, 4 or 5. It doesn't even matter. If the band that is going to be playing has any sort of actual talent, they have spent years learning how to play their instrument. They have spent serious money in instruments. They have spent money on a PA system, new strings, upkeep of instruments, gas to get there, vehicles to put their instruments in, the time it took to get there, getting out of town. If it is out of town, they spent money on a hotel room for 4 or 5 people or more, depending on the band.
Right.
There's a lot of other expenses in a band as well, and they look at you nuts when you say, "Yeah, I want $400 or $500."
Yeah. There's that saying, real musicians, you spend $5,000 on gear, put it in a $500 car, drive 100 miles to play a $50 gig. That's pretty standard nowadays, Jesus.
Yeah, well, let's see, you were in a band, Mr. Harrington. You just had a gig out of town not too long ago for a TV spot, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, we're a little band called Play with Fire. I play bass. Yeah, that was cool. It was Spin This with Kevin Porter down in Yakima. It was pretty neat. Played a set, little interview, and then our next show is in Seattle on Tuesday.
Now, you took a truck down there, yeah?
Yes.
All right. Now, was that the only vehicle you guys took?
No. Let's see. We took the truck with the gear, and then we had Justin, our singer. He drove down there and had a few things in his rig,
Mm.
and then Luke, our rhythm guitarist, took a few things down in his car.
So you had a convoy of
It
three
was a
different
convoy.
vehicles.
Yeah, it was a convoy.
All
It
driving
was pretty
together.
cool.
So you had 3 rigs, and this was where again?
Yakima.
Yakima.
Mm-hmm.
How far away is that from our hometown?
It's a good hour and a half drive, give or take.
Hour and a half. So we got 3 cars going an hour and a half one way and an hour and a half the other.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got 1 truck. What was he driving? His Cadillac?
Yeah, he has a Cadillac Eldorado.
Okay, so obviously not a fuel efficient vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other guy driving?
I'm not sure what kind of car. It's a four-door little car.
It's a 4-door
Good on
little
gas,
car.
I
So probably about between 18 and 23 miles to the gallon if I was to guess there.
Yeah.
So you got 1 gig, 3 vehicles, hour and a half each way. Now, did you get any monetary supplementation for this gig?
Nope.
No.
Not
Okay.
at all,
So,
yeah.
well, you did get TV time, which will hopefully supply more of that.
Yeah.
So, and how much did you personally spend for that truck in gas both ways, roughly?
Altogether, maybe about, give or take, $90.
And that's just you, yeah?
Yeah, it's just me.
Okay, so we know the Eldorado probably got fairly similar to what you got.
Yeah.
So there's another $90.
Right.
And on the giving side, we'll cut it in half. We'll cut it in half for the little 4-door, whatever the fuck it is. That's a lot of damn money.
Yeah, it is. Really is. And why we keep doing it, it's hard to explain, but it's something you love to do, and you just sometimes don't give a fuck about how much it costs. You just want to do it, and sometimes it'll be great. The show would have a good turnout, and sometimes it'll just be crap. But that's the little sacrifices we got to make. And to me, it's worth it.
That's one of the things that make you guys great musicians, because you're about the music and you're going to sacrifice to play the music.
Absolutely.
Now, I have personally, folks, heard Play With Fire. If you haven't, I definitely recommend checking them out, because if you like punk rock, then you are in for a treat with these guys. They are the definition of badass punk rock music. I gotta hand it to them.
Actually, I think we started the band. We were gonna be like a heavy metal band. It was interesting how Justin's influence is from that genre, and me, I came from everywhere. I came from alternative, and but I wanted to try something new. Never been in a punk band before. I was always in alternative or metal. Was in a country band at one point. Did you know that?
I did.
Yeah.
I was actually talked to about being in one of the country band things. Was that the country sidekick or the broken G-string?
Little project called the Country Sidekick.
Uh-huh.
It was something new. Did it for probably 6 months, and we were pretty much just a cover band, but it was something new. I would never do it again, but it was an experience, definitely.
Tim, I think even if your band broke up right now, if any of them found out that you were ever in a country band from this point on, they would find you, track you down, and shit in your truck.
I would do the same thing too. Fuck. No, there's sacrifices and shit you got to make, but at the end of the day, it's all worth it because you're doing what you love to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take a second, and I'm going to move on here. I'm going to talk about cooking for a moment.
Oh man.
Yeah. We just had ourselves one hell of a meal. I got done with work today, put in about 8.5 hours or so, 9 hours, and I got home and I was beat. And a couple days ago, I purchased a couple of steaks, and I told Harrington I'm going to cook them. Now, I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that we needed to record this, because on the website that we started to create, we said the 24th is when we would air it. It is currently, folks, the 24th. This is when we are recording this.
Yes.
It is what time, Mr. Harrington?
Right now we got 9:26 p.m.
It is 9:26 p.m., folks. I came home. I got here about 7:30 or so.
Yeah.
We cooked and we ate, and I am sitting here in a pleasant food coma.
We called it Mega Feast.
The Mega Feast. I by the way, if you're wondering what the course was, it didn't match itself at all. I cooked us each a big ass steak and then pasta. Steak and pasta. It's a weird combination, but it worked well.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Except we filled up on the pasta before we could eat much to the steak.
You know, I don't know. For me personally, when I see a big hunk of food right in front of me and I'm starving, I tend to get full quicker. I don't know why.
I think it's a mental. You see this and you're like, I'm so hungry. I wonder if I can eat all this.
Yeah.
And then you look at it and there's so much of it there. You almost get intimidated. You're like, I wonder if I can. That's a damn lot of food.
Yeah. Will they call that gluttony?
Well, being that I'm the chubby one of the two, I can say firmly, Tim, yes. Yes, that would be one of the attributing factors to gluttony. I am an expert on this.
Sometimes you gotta stuff yourself, man. I mean,
you know, I figured out, for all you chubby people out there, there's a thing that I've been doing, and it's actually helped me lose a couple of pounds, in case you're wondering. You know how you normally sit down and you're hungry and eat until you get full?
yeah.
I stopped doing that. You don't want to eat until you're full.
Right.
And you also don't want to eat if you're not hungry. So if you're eating when you're not hungry, stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if you eat till you're satiated but not full, yes, I used a big word, Mr. Harrington.
It's amazing.
I'm a jerk. I'm an asshole.
It's okay.
Now, if you eat to the point where you're not quite full but you're just satiated, and then you stop, you'll find that you get full if you wait a couple of minutes.
Now, I get really thirsty when I eat, and I think having a big glass of water fills me up too. I think that's
Big glass of water is always a beautiful thing, and most of us don't drink enough as it is. As it sits here right now, I'm not actually drinking water. I'm drinking a 16-ounce can of Budweiser. My third one, actually.
I'm actually on green tea myself.
Well,
love green tea.
This is the parallel, folks. We have Mr. Harrington, who is a skinny, fairly in shape kind of guy, and we have me, who is not a fairly skinny, in shape kind of guy, and I'm drinking beer.
Well, that's all right. That's okay. Nah, green tea is great, man. I try and have at least 2 cups of green tea a day. Fucking antioxidants, whatnot.
Now, moving on from the food thing, I went and I made myself some business cards today. Me and my friend Mike have started a little business. We're going to start a DJ business. We're going to DJ. We're going to have live music. I'm in touch with a couple of different bands, so I can get in contact with these bands, provide them with gigs, and my clients with music. And I am set up for karaoke and all that kind of stuff.
You have a hell of a PA, man.
Yes, in case you're wondering, folks, and I'm going to give you an email address in case you're interested here shortly. We are called Hendler Music Productions. That's HENDLER Music Productions, for all of your music needs. Yes. Well, I went down and I made some business cards today.
Yeah, these are cool.
And
these are really awesome.
I am proud. I went to Staples. And I dealt with a really, really nice lady, and she was very knowledgeable, quoted me prices, helped me look through some different stuff. And these business cards look absolutely professional. Now,
how many did you get?
I got 200.
200?
I got 200 to start. We're just getting started. But our email address is before mentioned. I'll give to you now, and then I'm going to go off on it a little bit. Is HENDLER Music Productions 2013 at yahoo.com.
Hendler Music Productions, was that your idea?
Well, the guy who I'm working with, his last name is Hendricks, my last name is Miller.
Oh, I see.
We kind of wanted to have one cool name, and Millix doesn't sound very good. Hendler sounds a little bit better.
That's good. That's original. Yeah, that's great.
So I kind of, being that he's really my partner in this, and he's helped me a lot in coming up and looking for different ideas as far as what equipment to get. He's talked to me about some venues. He's a knowledgeable guy, and I'm lucky to have him. Mike, you're awesome.
I Mike's a good guy.
He is, and actually, I believe he's a relative of yours, is he not?
He is my cousin.
Yes. Though not the kissing cousin sorts. That's just bad mojo.
You know, I'm looking at an ad here. It says Hobby Lobby. Have you ever been there?
I have yet to be there, but I happen to know for a fact there are a few businesses around here where most of the employees have wanted to get out for a long time and now are all applying for the Hobby Lobby. A lot of Home Depot people are applying for the Hobby Lobby. A lot of the Craft Warehouse are applying for Hobby Lobby. There's a lot of places that want to go to the Hobby Lobby.
Told me they had, what was it, 2,000 applications?
I'm surprised it wasn't a hell of a lot more, and that was probably in a very short period of time.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm actually in the food business myself.
Ah, yes. We have a cook in the house, and no, folks, he was not the one that cooked this steak. That was me.
Oh man, I couldn't have pulled it off.
Oh, and by the way, how did you like that steak, Harrington?
It was really awesome. It was perfect seasoning. It was tender. Good God, that was a huge steak. I actually could not even fucking finish it.
Well, you know what? I cooked it, and I'm a lard ass, and I couldn't finish it either. And that's saying something. So once again, I'm going to throw a personal out here, ladies. I am single, and I can cook, and I'm fully employed, and I have my own apartment, and I have 2 working cars. In my dreams, they're both not functional, but I do have 2 cars.
Don't miss this opportunity.
Yes, don't miss this opportunity. I'm a good guy. Come on. Anyway,
You've always been the ladies' man of the two of us.
Wait.
You've always been. You've been more witty than I am, and
yeah, but you're the one with the girl, and she's a great girl.
She's good.
What was her name again, Mr. Hankton?
Lindsay Eggers.
Oh, yes. Now he gets to gloat for a moment.
Nah, she's great.
She came over the other night, folks, and I tell you what, she is the epitome of a good girl. She has a great big smile on her face almost all the time. She's witty. She's smart. Tim, though he's probably a little bit shy right now, gloats all the time.
Oh, man.
Though I have to say it because he's too shy to admit it.
She keeps me on my toes.
And
Definitely.
you should be kept on your toes, Mr. Harrington. You should be.
It's wild out there, man. You know, definitely wild.
It's a wild world.
There was another topic I was wanting to talk about later on, is the art of meeting women.
The art of meeting women. Well, let's go into that now. This is a situation that I feel has come about for a reason, because there is actually... I have a lot of stories about meeting women.
And it's amazing. Like, everyone has their own style of meeting women and stuff. And, you know, at first for me, first meeting chicks, it was hard for me to actually start a conversation. To me, that was the hardest fucking part.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know. As you get older, you just tend to say fuck it more, and just go with it.
Well, let me tell you my my approach to meeting women. Are you ready for this,
I'm
Mr.
ready.
Harrington?
Let's do it.
Are you sure? Because this is what the masters do. Okay. So I'm sitting in an area, and most of the time when I meet a girl, I've never even seen her before. I say initially, wow, she's really pretty.
Yeah.
I like the way she carries herself. I'll even overhear some conversation if we're at a bar, and I'll look and I'll say, wow, she even seems intelligent. And so I make up my mind that I would like to know this individual.
Right.
So this is how I do it. I start by sitting in my seat and sweating for a little while. Then I say, man, I'm nervous. I should order a drink.
Mm-hmm.
So I go up to the bar and order myself a drink, and then I take the drink and I sit back down and I start to drink that drink. And the whole time I'm drinking it, I think, man, okay, just got to wait for an opportunity. I got to get up and say something. And by the time I think I might have an idea of what to say, I've ordered 4 more drinks.
Oh, man. You got to lubricate that brain, man. You get thirsty flirting.
It's social lubrication, folks. Now, after that 4th drink, I'm starting to feel a little bit more lively and a little bit more confident. And then I'll get up and I'll say, I'm going to go and order another drink. Only this time, it's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go up and say, "Hey, bartender, I want you to take this drink over to that lady right over there."
Yeah.
Only by that time, not only have I had the 4 drinks it took me to get up the courage to send her a drink, but I've probably had a few drinks before that, and I'm already feeling good. So I forget to tell the bartender that that drink is from me.
Oh shit. Oh man.
So now that the drink has been delivered, and she has no idea who it's from because the bartender will inevitably forget to mention the fact or point me out.
Right.
Now I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, that was my inn. I just paid for money for my inn. And the ordering of the drink,
Right.
Mr. Harrington, it's a difficult process because you have to analyze that person before you just order a drink.
Right.
You can't just say, "Hey, bring that woman a beer."
Uh-huh.
You have to watch them for a moment and kind of pay attention to what they're already drinking. Are they switching their drinks up or sticking to one thing? Maybe they would like more of a fruity drink, or are they a sourpuss straight Scotch kind of a gal? Do they like frou-frou drinks, or gin, or vodka tonics, or Red Bull blasters, or 18 billion other varieties of different shit that they have to order? You have to figure out and find a way to pluck the perfect drink right out of her brain and put it into your brain so you know what to order her.
Now here's a scenario. What if they're just drinking water? What do you do in a situation like that?
Well, you have to analyze.
Right.
Is she in a group? Are all of her friends drinking and she is drinking water?
I'm gonna say yes for the scenario.
Okay, so she's drinking water and all of her friends are drinking booze.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you have to analyze something else. Is she drunk already or is she sober?
I'm gonna say sober.
Okay, so she's sober, all of her friends are drinking. That clearly states to me that she is the DD.
Yeah.
And she is trying to be responsible. So what you want to do with that information is say, okay, well, if I'm going to buy her a drink, it's got to be a non-alcoholic drink.
Right.
So what you want to do is go up to the bar and order. You have to take a stab in the dark, honestly.
Yeah.
You order something non-alcoholic and tasty. And that's really all you can do. Whether it be a soda pop, which is too bland and not a good idea,
Yeah.
but usually something that's really tasty that's a version of an actual real drink. And she will appreciate the thought. And so you have to, this is the tricky part though, because women are a little bit odd when it comes to that sort of thing, because if you order them a non-alcoholic drink, they're going to realize that you are paying attention.
Right.
And if they realize you're paying attention, there's some women out there that think that you had been paying a little too close of attention.
Which can be bad also.
Which can be very, very bad, and then you get the whole, "You're creepy, leave me the fuck alone."
Yeah, nobody likes clingy people.
Or they're going to say, "Oh, wow, he was really paying attention. This guy might be kind of cool. I should talk with him." And you never quite really know which the hell way it's going to go.
Yeah, see, that was always my dilemma. When it came to situations like that, I wouldn't know what to do. That's always been my problem.
Well, that, amongst other things, have been many of my problems.
What do you look for in a woman, Tim? What's your preference?
That used to change almost daily. My ideal woman, let's see here, of what I would ideally like to end up with. Number one, she has to have a little bit rolling around upstairs. If she is as dumb as a box of rocks, I cannot put up with it.
Right.
I need a little bit of intelligence rolling around.
Right.
She also has to have a sense of humor. If I cannot laugh with a woman,
yeah.
I don't want to be with her. It's just not even remotely okay with me. Self-integrity, man. You gotta believe in yourself. If you think you're a steaming pile of shit, why the fuck would I want to waste my time on you? And I had to learn that the hard way because I used to think that I was a steaming pile of shit too. And guess what? I was single.
Oh, man. No, that's a good point.
You
Absolutely.
gotta have some self-respect. You gotta be able to stand up for yourself and realize that you're worth something and that you are an actual human being.
Oh yeah.
If you just say, "Oh yes, Tim," to everything I say, fuck you.
Right.
I don't want to hear it. If you don't have your own damn opinion on something, I don't want to waste my time with you.
See,
if you happen to agree with me, fantastic. I don't want to fight all the time, but if you can't realize that you have your own thoughts and opinions on things, then why do you exist?
Right.
Go
Absolutely.
fucking kill yourself.
Definitely.
And that brings me to another thing. Life is worth living, and don't give me any of that psychotic, if you leave me, I'll kill myself bullshit.
Man.
Oh,
Fucking
that just
ultimatum.
went, oh man, I cannot even stand that.
Oh shit.
And another thing, okay, here's a term that I hate with a passion, and I'll go into why, of course, because I am Tim. You complete me. Or the other half.
Wow.
She's my other half. He's my
fuck
other
is that
half.
shit?
Okay. All right. Here. Okay. So the term is when you get together with somebody, they are a couple. Okay, folks. Here's a little vocabulary lesson. A couple means two.
Right.
Okay. If you're stating that somebody is your other half, that means number one, you're only calling yourself a half a person, and you're only calling her a half a person. Okay.
Right.
So how can you be a couple if you're only a half and they're only a half?
Yeah, I never. Yeah, this is not making sense to me. I was wondering about that too.
Okay. You're relying on somebody to fill in on the voids that you have created in your own life. You cannot do that. If you want a relationship that's actually going to go somewhere, and I know this is kind of like the pot calling the kettle black because I'm still single eternally, but, and this might be a reason why, is all my opinions on this shit.
Well, it's essential.
You got to have yourself as a whole human being, and you got to have who you're going to be with as a whole human being. You can't have one whole and one half, or one half and one whole, or two halves. No, you have to have each of you be a whole, real, individual person that want to be together.
Yeah. It's like, woman, I got with you because I thought you were complete. You know?
Yeah, there is no you complete me stuff. If you're not already complete, you shouldn't be fucking dating.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. Definitely. What was your first date? Do you remember your first date?
My first date. You know, I got to think about my first real date or my first I'm going with a female friend and we're calling it a date, but it's not actually a real date.
Let's go with that one. I'll tell you mine while you ponder on that.
Yep.
I was 13. I dated this girl which had a twin. You know, we're in the 7th grade. Really liked this girl, and this is my first date. We decided to go on, but we wanted to double date. You know, which is interesting. And we went and saw Dude, Where's My Car? Do you remember that movie?
I do remember that movie.
So
oh, my Lord.
I show up at the movie theater early. I see them walking in, and they're twins, and I haven't really seen them outside of school. So, and they look the fucking same, man. And I was like, oh, fuck, what do I do? And I went to grab, her name was, what was her name? Haley? I think her sister's name was Heather. And I went to grab Haley's hand, and it was Heather's hand.
Oh,
So,
no.
That was a bad first date, and I still fucking remember that. I don't think I talked to him since, so.
Well, I don't know if you can call this a first date, but it kind of was a date. It was my first high school dance. Homecoming dance, I believe. Her name was Anya. Now, Anya, and she still is, by the way, folks, back then was an absolute sweetheart. She had a heart of gold, and she would do anything for anybody that she thought was worth a hill of beans, and some of the people that she didn't. Now, I thought that she was absolutely very, very, very pretty, and I knew this dance was coming up, and it took me a while, but I ended up asking her, and to my shock and amazement, she said yes.
Oh, wow.
And I said, "Wow, holy crap! A woman said yes to me? How the hell does that happen?" So I'm all kinds of nervous, and I went out, and apparently this wasn't a as dressy of an event as I thought, and I, in my eternal knowledge, said, "Okay, well, it's a school dance, so you rent a tux."
Oh, man.
Well, apparently you didn't have to do that, and I think I was one of it. I was one of the only people there that was wearing a tux, if not the only one.
In general, so it's probably natural to you.
You know, I have grown a fondness for dressing up from time to time, but back then I was considering it basically an overgrown monkey suit.
Oh, man.
I looked like a fat penguin. Just kind of waddled everywhere in my black and whites there. And but Anya, it brought a smile to Anya's face, even though a couple other people snickered, and I thought that was really sweet of her. And we went out and met and had some dinner and did some family stuff and whatnot. Then we ended up going to the dance, and I was basically scared shitless most of the night. I didn't even do a lot of dancing. In retrospect, I probably was not the best of dates. Anya, if you ever hear this, and I doubt you will, I'm sorry. But you were great.
Now, Mr. Miller, you're also a swing dancer, is that correct?
You know, I used to do that quite a bit. I even taught it for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
I never tried it myself.
Well, the thing about swing dancing is, well, let's see. I think they still regard as the Lindy Hop the most complicated basic that you can learn. But once you get it down and learn the basic, everything else kind of starts flowing pretty easy.
What got you into swing dancing?
Women.
There you go.
That was my single excuse. No, actually, folks, it wasn't women that actually got me in. I had a best friend, Skylar. We were childhood kin. He was my brother. We knew where each other were going all the time with thoughts and knew everything that was about to happen with each other. He was a great, great friend of mine. And I remember starting college just after I graduated high school, and he'd been doing this for a while, and I was going to a community college at the time, and he was always going back and forth and talking about swing dancing and things like that. And I remember him talking with this girl in one of our classes, and it was this absolute cutie. Man, she'd take my breath away. Her name was Amara, and come to find out, I'm not the first person to have a crush on this girl, obviously, but man, she was an absolute knockout. And I saw Skylar getting really excited about it, and I've been curious about it. And so it was kind of a combination of seeing his excitement and seeing the quality of woman that went to swing dancing. And I said, man, I got to learn. So I talked to Skylar, and he agreed to teach me a couple of the basic steps. And we went over to his house, and he laid out some duct tape on his garage floor and started teaching me the Charleston. And I will never forget that moment. It was a fun time.
That's interesting.
I went to swing for my very first time the next week, and I got hooked for several years afterwards. Never missed a Wednesday.
Wow. That was at the old senior center, right?
Yep. Well, I think they're still having it at the senior center, but I started going at the senior center, and I guess they just moved to the senior center shortly after I started. They were going to a place called T.J. Cooper's for a while.
T.J. Cooper's. T.J. Cooper's, that was an old club, wasn't
it? Yep. Not around anymore.
I remember that, and it was Volcano.
I think that's the same building.
Yeah, and then club level.
Wenatchee Bars, folks. Wenatchee Bars. By the way, we're coming out of, in case this actually ever leaves Wenatchee, anybody from a non-Wenatchee area ever hears any of this, Wenatchee, Washington. No, folks, not Washington, D.C. We're talking about Washington. You know,
Goddamn
the one that's kind of close to California, closer to Oregon. Yeah, they just keep
Washington,
going up
D.C.
there
That's where you live.
a little bit west.
It's
No.
fucking Washington State.
We live in Washington State, folks, in the very, very, very geographical center of the state. Wenatchee, Washington. Not East Wenatchee.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother city.
And I'll be blunt.
Connected
this
by a
fucking
bridge.
town is crap for socializing.
It can be. Unless you are an alcoholic or an avid bowler,
Right.
there's not a lot to do. But I
I'm
will tell you this. There are a few other things to do if you're outdoorsy.
I'm just
You
disappointed in the venues here.
The music venues are, for the most part, crappy.
Mhm.
You've got a couple of bars that are pretty cool to go to from time to time, but the town is so small you can't play in there more than a couple times before you get old. Even if people absolutely adore you, they're going to stop, and you wear yourself out, and you wear your audience out. You wear your fans out. You got to get out of this town if you want to play music. Only play here every great once in a while.
Now, that's what we decided to do, was just get out of town. I mean, I think we pretty much refused to play here.
You got to get over to Spokane and maybe over to Seattle every once in a while.
Yeah, it's definitely essential, man. You got to break out, and you can't be stuck in the same fucking town all your life, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of venues, are they still doing Bumper Shoot?
Bumper shoot.
That
Oh,
was
there's like
a
the
big-
festival.
Yeah, the Bumper Shoot Festival.
Oh, man, I'm sure they are.
Yeah, you guys really ought to see if you can get in there.
Oh, man, that would be
This is
awesome.
a big festival.
Bumper
I mean,
Shoot,
with
yeah.
your guys' TV spot and all the different places and venues you've played and everything, you could probably get in there.
Is that a summer festival?
I believe so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It should be coming up here pretty soon.
You know, I've lived here all my life. I've never been to the Gorge.
You know, I've been to the Gorge a couple of times, and I still remember the first time I ever went to the Gorge. Folks, I will tell you the story just because it bears repeating. It was my first concert ever. I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Yes, I said it. I'm using the old school terminology. Knee-high to a grasshopper. And I remember going to Subway with my parents one day, and we put in to win a trip, a couple of concert tickets to the Beach Boys. Yeah, that's right, the Beach Boys. And I remember sitting here thinking to myself, man, the Beach Boys, I've grown up listening to their music. Not that I've grown up very tall yet, but I was still listening to their music, and I adored it. I wanted to go so bad. Well, I remember it was 99 KXA was the radio station. It was an oldie station, and I loved oldies, especially growing up. And so they were having the contest one day, and my parents had already gone to work, and I was waiting at the house before school because they left before my bus came. And I was listening and listening and listening, and they started announcing who would win the tickets.
Right.
And they announced a couple people, and I was down on my knees literally praying that we would be able to go to this concert.
Oh, man.
And all of a sudden, Ray, they announced my parents' names and our last names, and I could not believe it. I was on the phone in a matter of seconds calling my mom in the middle of her job because she was there saying, we won. And she says, we won what? I'm like, we won the concert tickets. Are you serious? No, Mom, you got to call. You got to call the radio station quick. You got to do it in the next hour or next 30 minutes or whatever it was. You got to call. Call him. Okay, Tim, I'm going to call him. You got to hang up. Mom, call him. Tim, you got to hang up first. Oh, okay. So I hang up, and I bounced off the walls, and I was absolutely ecstatic. And it finally came to when we went to the concert, and it was at the Gorge. The Gorge and George. Cool venue, folks. Lots of the grass to sit on and a big-ass stage with a big-ass stereo.
Yeah, I don't know why I've never fucking been there. I mean, no excuses. I mean, shit.
Well, damn it, Harrington. We'll have to change that and catch a show.
Gonna
But
have to.
we filed in, and there was a couple of bands that played first, and they were pretty good. And then the Beach Boys came on stage and started playing their music, and I was sitting way back in the nosebleeds with my folks up on the grass, and we had to look through binoculars in order to actually get a good view of the band. And they passed me the binoculars for the first time, and it was the Beach Boys, and it was towards the end of things, and or at least at that juncture in time, it was towards the end of things.
Right.
And they passed me the binoculars, and I looked down on them, and I'm just surrounded with people, and I didn't think I was a little kid, and I said, "Mom, Dad, they look really old."
Oh, shit.
And I got done looking at them. I took the binoculars down, and I looked at my folks' face, and they were bright red. And I swear to God, every person within hearing distance of what I just said just turned around and stared at me for a second.
Oh, man. That's fucking awesome.
And that was my Beach Boys concert. I will always remember that.
I think one of my favorite concerts was Metallica. That was pretty cool down in Portland.
That would be a cool show.
Yeah. No, I wish they would have more of a fucking music scene here. I mean, at least fucking venues, you know.
I agree with you. I
Mhm.
mean, you can only play the bars and venues around here for so many times before people don't really want to come see anymore.
Right.
I mean, you spend, a couple of months hitting it hard, every weekend or playing in a different place in this valley, and 3 or 4 months are going to go by, and you're going to be kind of old news because everybody's already memorized all your songs, even if they really like them, and they're going to say, I can miss this show.
Right. Absolutely. No, I'm looking forward to our show Tuesday night. It's going to be at the 2-Bit Saloon in Seattle.
2-Bit Saloon in Seattle.
Be pretty cool.
And what time is that going to be? Do you
Man.
remember that?
I have no idea. I'm not the one who booked this show, but
So the band Play With Fire will be at the 2-Bit Saloon in Seattle. And what date is that?
that's going to be this Tuesday, the 26th.
Tuesday the 26th. So
cool.
all of you, anybody who hears this in that general area, go there. Log online. It's not like you cannot find out the time. Go there and check this band out because they are fun. They are kick-ass. If you like an in-your-face, balls-out fucking punk rock band, you're in for a treat. Go there and check it out.
I got to say, though, one of my favorite shows here was last April at Wally's. I think you were there for it.
Was that the instrument smashing moment?
Yeah, we decided to smash all of our fucking equipment, and that was pretty cool.
I was there.
I got a fucking drum. I think it was a tom. It just came right on my head. I think Justin, our singer, threw it at my head.
Oh, no.
It was pretty cool.
That is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's see here. Let's come up with something else fun on our agenda of things to talk about.
Quite a bit of topics.
We do. And this is just kind of an introductory bullshitting about a couple of things. Kind of let you get to know us a little bit. And we'll go from there. But this is just kind of an introductory, fun little episode. Let's see here.
I'm
what to
interested
talk
in how we became the Intimidators.
The Intimidators. Well, your name's Tim and my name's Tim.
Right.
Actually, when we came up with that was when Tim and I used to play in a band together. It was both of our first band, and we called it, when I was in it, it was called Sobriety Assist. Before I came in it, they had called themselves Paper or Plastic.
Oh, man. You know why that was Zach Bird was working over in Safeway.
Yes.
It just came natural, yeah. No, it was cool. I think we were just sitting up one night drinking, and like, the Intimidators. Just makes sense.
Indeed. Kind of lore of our names.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of lore,
Mm-hmm.
Something else that we plan on getting into talking about eventually is some of our local lore here in Washington State.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody ever hear of Mel's Hole? If you're familiar with the old AM Art Bell stuff, you will be very familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
Tim and I were kicking around an idea, and we're probably still a few months away from doing this, but Mel's Hole is supposedly a bottomless pit surrounded by myth and legend that they used to throw animals in there, pet dogs that had been deceased. And
Right.
then the owners would see dogs with the same markings, responding to the same names, coming back to them. They spent miles and miles of fishing line down in there and never found a bottom. All kinds of crazy stuff, and he went on Art Bell coast to coast, and then all of a sudden the government decided that they were interested in it, as the story goes. And basically took possession of his land in a threatening way, at least as the story goes. And now, if you type in the coordinates of his old place, it's just a big whited out area, and you
No
cannot
shit.
see it.
Wow.
So, and later on, when we actually gonna start doing this kind of stuff a little bit more, Mr. Harrington and I are talking about taking a road trip down to the outskirts of Ellensburg, which is where this Mel's Hole is.
Yeah, around
And
the Nastash Ridge around there.
yep, Monastash Ridge, and we're going to see how far up we can go before we get met by somebody who tells us we got to turn around.
They call it infinite depth. That's fucking amazing.
Yep. Yep, there's a lot of lore, and we'll be filling you in on some of it, and we'll kind of go from there. And there's plenty of other local things, Bigfoot legends, and all kinds of fun stuff that we plan to explore, as long as all the other crazy stuff.
Conspiracies.
Conspiracy theories.
It's going to be fucking awesome.
Yet another wonderful thing we'll end up talking about. Also look forward to us tearing apart different bands and building other bands up that we feel don't get the recognition that they need.
Yeah, you know what? Just wanted to start this talk show. We wanted to discuss pretty much anything and everything, right? I mean...
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, folks, Harrington and I have been sitting around, and we came up with this idea, what, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah. Well, he came up to me with the idea, and I was definitely down for the idea. And we went out and got some mics with some spare change, literally, that we had saved. And we'd made ourselves an intro and an outro. By the way, that's Mr. Harrington playing the bass.
Oh, yeah.
And we let it sit this entire time thinking, gosh, it would be fun, and trying to come up with some ideas for it.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, where I was at, I don't know about you, Mr. Harrington, but I kept putting it off because I was a little bit nervous about it.
Right.
And now it has come to the deadline date when we'd said we'd do it. And I think really all we needed was this introduction to really get ourselves kind of into it and going.
Yeah. Gotta get our feet wet, definitely.
So you folks have gotten us wet. Thank you for listening.
Oh, man.
All right, folks, this is the end of the Intimidation Hour for now. We look forward to reporting back to you next week sometime. We'll post the date on our website a little bit later with a fresh new episode and maybe a little bit more either incoherent rambling or decisive conversation. We haven't decided which yet, but we appreciate you listening.
Now, we're on 3 sites. We have Facebook, of course. We're on YouTube, which is probably what you're listening to on now. There's also SoundCloud.
And pictures will be posted so you can see our ugly mugs and crazy behavior in a little bit of extra time.
We're at the embryo stage at this point. Yes.
Yes, yes. All right, folks. Well, thank you very much for plugging in for an hour. And we hope to tickle your brains a little bit more sometime next week. And if you liked what we were talking about and liked our vibe, then feel free, tell your friends, see what we can do. And
leave comments, leave us some feedback.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. And thanks again for listening.
Yes.